Meanwhile, the Obama visit is seen to further strengthen the economic relations between the two countries. The full story from Freddie Abando.
The relations of the Philippines and the United States spans over 100 years. It was a time tested by so many adversities to include 2 world wars, the Korean and Vietnamese conflicts. Through it all, Filipino and American soldiers fought side by side in defense of democracy. The Senate vote of 1991 to end the extension of U.S. bases in the Philippines has changed the course of these relations. There was a major transition. For some time, concerns were raised on how it will evolve for the long term. The commitment of the United States to the mutual defense, trade and economic ties, the welfare of Filipino war veterans, and the entry of Filipinos in the mainland. 23 years after the last American ship sailed out of Subic, the friendship has been steady, solid, and strong. The visit of U.S. President Barack Obama next Monday is an expression of enhanced American support for the country's emerging economic boom and its security.
For the longest time, the U.S. has been, our very close economic partner. We send a lot of goods to the U.S. We get a lot of assistance to the U.S. In fact, we are thankful to them because in the recent Yolanda calamity, they were among those who came in very strongly to provide relief and rehabilitation assistance. So really, the American economy is closely tied to the Philippines, and there are a number of opportunities for, in fact, deepening and broadening those economic ties.
The U.S. is the #1 economic and trading partner of the Philippines. The U.S. is the biggest source of foreign direct investments. From 1999 to 2012, it hit almost $5 billion. Last year, almost $800 million. American companies lead investors for the BPO industry, which generated $15 billion in 2013. So with investments in power generation for the next 3 years. It is also the top export destination of Filipino products and the #1 supplier of imports. The United States is also the biggest source of remittances from overseas Filipinos. From 1989 to 2012, it amounted to $108.10 billion. It was a major boost for economic growth. Filipinos returning home are buying condominiums and started their own business.
We are growing quite robustly, and we expect this to continue in the foreseeable future. There are great opportunities for American investors here in the Philippines, and they can certainly take advantage of those opportunities. In the same way that as our economy grows, we need bigger markets. We need to have better access to the U.S. economy.
Secretary Abad stressed President Obama's pivot policy enhances the balance of power in the Asia-Pacific region, given the rising tensions triggered by China's territorial disputes with Japan, South Korea, and the Philippines. Obama's decision is geared to maintaining stability and protecting American interests in the region.
This pivot by the Americans is really necessitated by the fact that this is economically and in terms of democracy is a growth region which cannot be ignored by the U.S., especially since China is competing to be not just the next economic power but also the next military power. So therefore, the Americans and the world cannot have or cannot afford to have a situation here that is pretty much unbalanced, in the sense that you have a dominant country here that is aggressively trying to define its territory. So I think somehow that needs to be balanced.
For the People's Television Network, this is Freddie Abando.